For the purposes of this new world, our #1 spot on the open mic is taken by the first person to come in, and she comes in around like 6:30 and 6:40. Come on, you knew you were going to be picked. Who dares win? So I like the Stone Soup icon, Ethan. So our first open mic participant is Patricia Kerrigan.
Hi, thank you. Okay, fresh off the press is written today. Caution, inspired by the killers. Blacktop beginnings, incognito, under mandatory masks. Cautionary tales blow in the wind. By the church door, birthday wishes die at midnight. Cinderella's white dress set aflame. Eyes know what has been. Failure, a frequent flyer, a bad movie with no end. Tarot swords come in threes, 8s, 9s, and 10s. By the promenade, change blows in the wind. She fights for her sanity, ready to burn down what was and throw caution west of the bay. Seagulls fly around her. She raises her arms to the sun, lips in affirmation. The mask behind her mask drops, floats away in the Gravesend current. Okay.
Why are we light on applause today? Come on, there's only 7 of us. We can do better than that. Okay. Thank you very much, Patricia. I'm muting everyone again, except for the next person coming up on the open mic. I believe he was second in, and his name is Mr. Bill Lewis. I'm trying to unmute you right now, Bill. I'm not sure what's going on. Okay, there you go.
Are we testing? Can you hear me? Yes. So for this, not everything we do which is poetic is in iambic pentameter. Matter of fact, I'm not even exactly sure what iambic pentameter is. Who actually knows what that is? James Van Loy does. But Chad, you know what it means. I mean, right? Anyway, I don't. I get the idea, but in any case,
you can answer, James, if you like.
It is what it sounds like, and I am, and a pentameter is 5 of those I ams. It gives the own rhythm of its own what it is.
Heartbeat.
oh,
Heartbeat.
Dum.
The heartbeat rhythm.
that is so. I did not. But anyway, the point is that not everything which is poetic fits into the same approach. In any case, I am going to show you a little bit of what I was doing, which I consider to be poetic. And do I have sharing permission for the screen right now?
I can give them to you. Give me a second.
Okay.
Okay, you should be fine in a couple of seconds to do it.
Okay, and this, share computer sound, I hope this works.
Oh, geez. There we go.
Oh, good afternoon. James Madison, 4th President of the United States. It's a great pleasure to see you, and it is a great honor to be invited to come and talk to you about the issues of the founding of this country. As I'm sure you know, there have been 1 million revolutions throughout the history of the world, and 999,000 of those revolutions did nothing but exchange one king for another king. Our revolution was different. When my best friend, Thomas Jefferson, wrote those words, That transformed our revolution into a revolution of ideas. We were going to build a better world. And now, inasmuch as I cannot do this all by myself, I should like the assistance of one of the students. Is there someone who would be so kind as to read the part of Patrick Henry? Ah, yes, would you like to read the part of Patrick Henry?
Yeah, is life so dear, or peace so sweet as to be purchased at the price of change and slavery? Forbid it, Almighty God. I know not what course others may take, but as for me, give me liberty or give me death.
Bravo! Whoa! Bravo! Bravo! And now we are clapping and yelling as loud as we can, jumping up and down, all of us. Huzzah! 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 You're supposed to be huzzahing too back there, Sydney. There we go! Huzzahing! This is very important. And that is what you can expect from a class that I give. We will talk about the major issues that face the country in its beginning. We will go over about 2/3 of the MCAS requirements for Massachusetts. We will talk about the things that are important to our country. Look forward to seeing you on the web.
I wanted you all just to see what I'm doing.
I'm definitely going to have to link this website onto this week's crouton poem. I have to go back and count how many of my poems actually reference James Madison. I might have to do a separate chapbook of those. But thank you so much for doing that, James. And we're going to go on to the next person on the open mic. She's been waiting very patiently. And I'm going to unmute you right now, Nancy. Nancy was one of the first people who I had feature for an anniversary special at Stone Soup. It was the 35th anniversary of Stone Soup Poetry back in, that was 2006, May 1st. I recently put some footage out there of Carol Weston's feature from that time, but she also featured with at least 2 other people, and one of them was Nancy. And it's been great to have her still participate at Stone Soup as often as she can. And she's willing to do this from the phone as a Zoom call. So Nancy, you have the mic.
Oh, I'm not reading tonight.
Oh, and here I thought we were going to get
I'll if you let me come next week, I'll try and bring something.
I will. That's a deal then. Okay. Well, you can just cut and paste that intro for next week. We're going to bring on next. Here we are. I know she's been chomping at the bit to go. Let's welcome up Miss Carol Weston. Miss Carol Weston? Carol?
Yes, I am. I'm reading selections from The Race. The Race was written in honor of Steve Jonas, the drug poet, the jazz poet, the wild poet. It is fertile, this land we did not have to walk far to find. We needed only to stay still in our mind's eye to feel the flooding come across the barrenness. We needed only to look beside us to find the others resting so in their stillness. We stood there many walls long of indefinite despairing days until the sun hit us in the back and blood rose in our mind's eye and we fought. And when they said that we were wounded, it was then that we were born. And when they said that we were disqualified, we knew that we were halfway through the first step of the race. The others running over the finish line received the bright colors and we could see no color in that first knee bend, a sort of eternity of no hope to hold in our hand. We were blind in a world of no contours. All had receded, the race had closed down, and the audience had gone home when we made the second step. There were no boundary lines, and the ground sank downward, and the eye moved just under the level of the land. The only friend was warmth of the earth and the graves that we understood better than the living, and the worm whose basic gooiness was life as we too knew it. For the complex animals and plants lay away from us. We knew only beginning things in their stillness, and the futility of movement, and the grandeur that was somewhere coming to us through the earth. In moments that we gave up and let the wonder work in us, we were released into strange chambers, and we saw colors richer than those bestowed upon the winners. We saw colors and the secret beginnings of things under the earth, and from then on we could not speak and be understood, for the joy of mouthing words was taken away from us, and the call was exhausting us. The race is operating through the midnights. Look out your windows. You can see the figures, giant size, that move slow motion through the lamplight, and something haunting in their rhythm and their sureness, and something peculiar in their vulnerability of slowness, and something strange about their flesh, that everyone goes out their door to put a sword through, and it does not scream, but it keeps moving. The procession of isolate eyes on the highway, bearing gifts of no destination, having no rest. They come to a doorway. They recognize it. It has been taught to them through the endless midnights, and the stove will be on, and what they brew there is a giant rest of a drink, spreading warmth, burning along the tongue like brandy made of fire, of many colors. And the chairs that rock there are of fine wood carved with many faces, and the ultimate shapes lie on the table, and the masks are taken off, and the flesh returns to wholeness, and the sun shines boundless and restoring through the window, and the eyes open wide and of many colors, for the lenses have been lifted off them, and the books are there, blank embroidered books waiting to be filled, and the pens are silent, silver filigree feathers from the market on the bridge over the slow river. There is time now to let the tears flow, and the songs rise, and the pens flow, long as the breath comes in, and the limbs dance, and the water, air, and fire remain.
Thank you so much, Carol. That was great.
Good.
And we're going to move on to our next person on the open mic. We're getting a couple people here and there coming in to grow our numbers. The first person who came in after the bell rang is Mick Quizimano. Mick, are you ready to get on the mic now?
Sure. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay. All right, here we go. Pyramids of condos on a desert of the town. Ruins of a culture spawned by electric town. The expedition works its way to Harvard Square, and that clicks his finger, and Gene's over there. Stuck in the 60s like a car in the snow. He leaves John's only if he can't know. The radio plays Hendrix. And things are straight back then. His body radio plays Hendrix wasn't great back then. Peace marches with deadheads and psychedelics then. Now his computer names in the high cat gizzard. How can it compare to Jim Morrison's lizard? The magical mystery tour has suddenly come to an end. Time can stand still, only if you pretend. Is that the Maharishi? Or Timothy Leary on the street? He moves closer. Oh no, it's a policeman on his beat. Move along, hipster. Woodstock's now a pasture. Get that software over to the office one step faster. Okay. And I got a couple more short ones. Monkey do, monkey don't. The monkey's heart is racing from the never-ending jazz, midnight, banana tree nightlife. Junior executive pinstripe baboons who try to impress the chimpanzees at the water cooler with long discussions about Picasso and avant-garde guerrilla theater. The chumps are suburbia carrying on hairy hot dog primary parties, drinking Martin and listening to Monkey Man. The lowland gorilla smarts a tennis ball against a dripping spaghetti wall. The baboon keeps score and holds open the door. The gibbons crawl along the linoleum floor. The orangutan chew walls and wants more. The monkey looks for jungle rot and jungle pot and jungle.coms. Jungle and bungle and grumbling only lead to a stale banana tree. That's why this monkey is so blue. He's banging on the log, reminding of you. And this one is about Egypt, called Valley of the Kings. Kick the sand from your feet, spread your tourist wings, take a twist in the land of the kings. Kick the sand from the feet, spread your tourist wings, take a trip to the Valley of the Kings. Walk through the tomb of Seti the First. The hot desert sand is giving you a thirst. Take Tutankhamun's chariot out for a whirl with a long-haired French archaeologist girl. Kick the sand from your feet, spread your tourist wings, take a trip to the Valley of the Kings. Kick the sand from the feet, spread your tourist wings, take the Valley of the Kings. There's a jackal in our alley, a croc in the gutter, a cobra in your basket, a scarab in your butter. Your hotel's out of water, and Nile's running mud. There's roaches in the kitchen, and your beetles in your bed. A swarm of locusts chase you through the sand. Don't you wish you're back to a band? Take the sand from your feet, spread your tourist wings, take a trip for the Valley of the Kings. 60 royal mummies in KB5. You sick with a flashlight, with one of them comes alive. He's chasing you with bandages, and he'll whack you with a cane. He howls you like a banshee, driving you insane. Kick the sand from the feet, spread your tourist wings, take a trip to the Valley of the Kings, take a trip to the Valley of the Kings. Story around the temple of Ramses III, the Colossus of Memnon, utters not a word. Her name was Nefertiti, Akhenaten's oil queen. She danced like a cobra, if you know what I mean. Kick the sand from your feet, spread your tourist wings, take a trip to the Valley of the Kings. Kick the sand from the feet, spread your tourist wings, take a trip to the Valley of the Kings. Time for one more.
We're doing round robin tonight. Do you want to save the fourth one for the second round?
Okay.
Well, thank you very much.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Nick. And we're going to go to the next person on the open mic, and that will be he's been the MVP non-mass resident coming week after week, and it's great to have him here. So let's welcome up Mr. Eric Tate.
Yes. I call this one survivor's guilt. Without disability, I'd need to work for my money, meaning in the midst of a pandemic, although immunocompromised, I'd be in no position to choose to stay home. And given my work history, the job I'd be most suited for would be within the service industry. Among those currently touted essential employees, frontline workers. If I go with the wartime metaphors, I get feeling like a guy exempt from being drafted on account of my medical status, watching my buddies reluctantly leaving for battle. Of those who do return, some of them could be sick, and when I see them around, I self-consciously thank them for their service.
Thank you. Thank you, Eric.
I don't know what that is.
Am I still on? My screen went to something else right in the middle of it. I didn't know if I.
Yeah, Ethan was sharing his screen by accident, but you did the whole poem. We heard you.
Oh, okay.
Thank you, Eric.
Ethan, are you sharing something after all? Are you going to be performing something after all?
Somebody else.
Looks like we lost him.
Okay, so I will.
Performing something.
I'll do the only thing that I can, which is move on. And if Ethan wants to do something, he can raise his hand. But for now, we'll go to our closer out of the first round of the so-called round robin. And we will bring you now to Mr. Oddball columnist, poet, performer, mime, musician, singer, Mr. James Van Looy.
Thank you. Thank you very much. So I wanted to read this poem that I have that is working towards this performance piece that I've been trying to put together about Edgar Allan Poe's short story, Descent into the Maelstrom. And it has this poem has a line from that story, Poe's Descent into the Maelstrom. And the line goes like this: I must have been delirious, for I even sought amusement in speculating on the relative velocity of their several descents below. Now, this, of course, is in description of being sucked into a whirlpool on a ship and falling into the water and then observing one's predicament. And let me read it one more time. I have been delirious, for I even sought amusement in speculating on the relative velocity of their descents towards the foam below. And Marshall McLuhan, in the early 1950s, in his book, The Mechanical Bride, came up with this sentence about Edgar Allan Poe's story of Descent into the Maelstrom. It was this amusement, born of his rational detachment as a spectator of his own situation, that gave him the thread which led him out of the labyrinth. So this is called Poe's Maelstrom in the Underground. I just keep thinking how much it hurts, how I keep trying over and over and over to figure out exactly what I can actually do as I'm studying compulsively, praying, and again flat out contemplating on it all, that everything passing by in the layers of the spirals, vortex spinning past and everything all around me. This piece of flotsam too, flotsam amidst flotsam, the spitting foam swirling and swirling so far below, with the sky being swallowed, disappearing from above, Down, down, down I go, lost in this gathering black hole, dim rebellion, an unnamed GI tract, afflicted old belly. I hear Benjamin Franklin's play on words so sage, old saw, saying, hang together or hang separately. And there's my one true phobia choking to death. The way my mom died so horrible of lung cancer, and I keep thinking of all who need to be healed. I keep seeking new labyrinth designs. I keep going down through layers, geologic strata, chapters of books, and the information swirls faster and faster, ever faster it goes, great rush of the echo tube, sound way down in funnel, tunnel of people together, spun by the transit. And let me read and sing a quick song. Beautiful dreamer, wake unto me. Starlight and dewdrop are waiting for thee. Sounds of the rude world heard in the day, lulled by the moonlight, have all passed away. Beautiful dreamer, queen of my song, list while I woo thee with soft melody. Gone are the cares of life's busy throng. Beautiful dreamer, awake unto me. Beautiful dreamer, awake unto me.
Okay. I think it's a good idea to do one more round. This might be a small open mic. I guess a lot of people are getting Zoom's fatigue. I can't blame them.
I am getting it.
I don't blame you.
I'm all screwed up with the schedules and everything. It's like, okay, let me
Right.
shut up and read two. I read like three
Okay.
haiku.
Let me mute other people and then get you so you don't get interrupted by me or anyone else. So we welcome back our number one reader, Patricia, for our second round of the round robin.
Mhm. At Coney Island, seagulls hold their own parade. Mermaids in lockdown. At Coney Island, seagulls hold their own parade. Mermaids in lockdown. Yoga cat stretches into downward dog. Yoga cat stretches into downward dog. 3 a.m. Human can't sleep. Cat in party mode. 3 a.m. Human can't sleep. Cat in party mode. That's it. I'm zoomed out.
Well, we're glad you came on. And we're going to go now to Mr. Bill Lewis to see if he has anything he would like. Give me a second. Let me just make sure everyone else is muted except for him. Okay, Mr. Bill. And now I can't. Okay, good. Looks like you're unmuted. So you have the mic.
Wonderful. I am so excited. I would like to recite a short poem by a friend of mine, or a friend and acquaintance, one of my heroes. Denise Provo is, oh, this really doesn't come up. What if I stand right there? Oh, if I stand right behind it, you can see it's backwards. Oh, well, anyway, it's a cool book. It's by her, and I'm reading something apropos to the season because she's so different from me, and I love her for that very reason. For show. April's progress, Bradford pear everywhere in whitest dress. Bridal promise, pledge of faith, always from each snowy wraith. Yet they turn green now, having since grown jealous of the flowering prince. Petal confetti drifting there, strips each tree to its knobby branches. Ornamental fruitless pears, once more bear your moment past.
Next up on the open mic, we have, if Carol is willing to read again, we would love to hear from her. So let me unmute Carol Weston. Carol, are you willing to read one more time or recite one more time?
Are you speaking to me?
Yes, I am, Carol.
Wait a minute. Okay. Now, in 1963, I had an affair with Tambi Mutu. He was poetry editor of Poetry London, New York. And T.S. Eliot and everyone else was in his magazines. And so he would raise his voice in the bed and sing this beautiful poem by his friend whose name escapes me. God damn it. It's the finest poem in the English language. Okay. Ravenous Time. It's called Time Eating. You can look it up by the title. Ravenous Time has flowers for his food in autumn, yet can cleverly make good each petal. Devours animals and men, but for 10 dead he can't create 10. If you inquire how secretly you've come to man's size from the smallness of a stone, you will see how gradually time's ruminative tongue can wash and slow juice masticate all flesh. So you brought me from a boy, you can make no more of me, only destroy. And he was indeed killed at the last day of the war, Second World War.
Thank you, Carol. We have the return now on the open mic for the second and final round robin. Mr. Mick Quizamato. Let me just make sure everyone else is muted, Mick, and then you are good to go, sir.
Okay. The Glass Snow Shuffle. The Cold War's over, comrade, 70 years in the dark. If only a damn ruble was worth a fraction of the mark. Wait in line for hours to buy a bunk of cheese. The mice only eat it, leaving you in fleas. Do the Glass Snow Shuffle, the perestroika twist. The Flannan saw it's going down, bored he be pissed. Do the Glass Snow Shuffle, the perestroika twist. The Flannan saw it's going down, or be pissed. Uncle Gorby's on radios, the freedom of the air, to point out the rotting fare, the great Russian bear. Take the Communist Manifesto and toss it in the trash. The Berlin Wall is falling. Can't you hear it crash? Do the Glass Snow Shuffle, the perestroika twist. The Flannan saw it's going down, bored he be pissed. Ukrainian Catholics are lining up for confession. They say, Father, forgive us. Really want secession. The KGB is following you, ready to attack. Hit them with a brick from the Berlin Wall or a stale Big Mac. It's freedom time, baby. No more reason to be led. No more. Do what you want. Damn well, please, because Stalin's really dead. Do the Glass Snow Shuffle, perestroika twist. As Lenin saw it's going down, bored he'd be pissed. Do the Glass Snow Shuffle, perestroika twist. If Lenin saw it's going down, bored he'd be pissed. Putin grabbed Crimea with the invaded Ukraine. Now he's bombing Syria. He's finally insane. Do the glass nose shuffle, the Paris strike a twist. If Lennon saw it's going down, bored, he'd be pissed. Do the glass nose shuffle, the Paris strike a twist. If Lennon saw it's going down, bored, he'd be pissed. Okay.
Thank you very much, Mick. And then we're going to go keep on going down the order of the open mic, and we're going to go back to Mr. Eric Tate. I just introduced you, sir. You are on.
This one's called Can't Take It With You. From the nursing home, Mom hears I'm having trouble fitting all her boxes and furniture into my downsized house. Get rid of it. Just throw it out, Mom says, of her clothes and her keepsakes. Get rid of it, Mom says, of her bedroom furniture, the purchase of which once filled her with pride. I remember Mom carefully polishing the mahogany dresser top, resolved not to let any water from the bottoms of glasses damage the wood. Now the dresser sits with a leaky watering can atop it in the middle of my living room. And Mom, so far removed from her old life and any tangible possessions she once prized, tells me to throw it out. Thank you.
Thank you.
Ouch.
Thank you.
Mm.
Lovely, Eric.
Thank you very much, Eric.
Thank you.
And now we're going to go to.
Oh,
What-
excuse me. Can I say one
Yep.
more thing?
Yeah, sure.
My girlfriend wanted to read.
Oh,
Is that
Yay.
but she said you could go through and come back to her.
she could come on now if she likes.
She needs to pull it up on her phone.
Okay, we'll give her a couple seconds. We
Okay.
got time. Can you give me her full name?
Here she is.
Hi. Hi there.
Hey. So give me your full name for the record.
Christa Mccall.
That's CHRYSTAL.
No, it's very many variations as it's been spelled before, but no, it's just regular Crystal with a K.
And what was the last name?
Mccall, MCPHAUL.
Excellent. Well, welcome to. Well, you've been on the open mic before, so
Yes.
welcome to your debut poem. So please indulge us.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you can just go to the next person and just come back to me. It's fine.
Okay. Well, we'll go to. I guess you'll be the epilogue because we're going to the last person on the open mic, and that would be Mr. Let me get everyone muted again, and we'll go to Mr. James Van Loy.
Okay. So this is another lugubrious poem, and that actually, of course, is from Joanna Nealon. Joanna Nealon was always talking about my lugubrious poems, so I made up basically a collection of lugubrious poems, and this one is called Sweet William I Never Knew. When I finally learned his name and began to use it in passing, it seemed a quick dart of the shadow of a cloud wisp across the bright white of his false teeth and chewing tobacco smile, as if I crossed a boundary I should have crossed earlier or not crossed at all. I had no idea he was even ill, or after these many months of years, he finally had a room of his own and was actually helping others who had even less than the little he himself had. Just a tiny little guy, way past working to support himself, if in fact he was ever capable, or perhaps better, mean enough to wrench a living from life. All I saw was someone always had a smile for me, as if I was the only special person around, and we had known each other forever. And we probably had known each other a long, enduring time, because after all, the young man who came to Sunday soup and sandwiches did seek me out to confide how he feared Bill was murdered, and was driven to find out how Bill actually died quietly in bed. His own bed, I thought. How fit but sad that he only got a place to die in it, but had helped this youth, struggling to keep his own place, who'd had his electricity turned off and needed a place to plug in and have a bit of light. The young man who'd finally found a sort of father he'd never had, and yet through his morning anger could see what had been kept alive and passed on. And I'll sing another little song real quick. Tiptoe to the window, by the window, that is where I'll be. Come tiptoe through the tulips with me. Tiptoe from your pillow to the shadow of the willow tree, and tiptoe through the tulips with me. Knee deep in flowers we'll stray, we'll keep the showers away. And if I kiss you in the garden, in the moonlight, will you pardon me? Come tiptoe through the tulips with me.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, James. And we're going to go to our, I guess, our epilogue poet and our secret poet for the night.
Yeah.
Like a secret achievement unlocked in a game. We have uncovered a new poet. So we are going to, well, since I have total dominance over everything, let me take Eric Tate's name under his block and just change it. Okay. There we go. So let's welcome up the debuting on this open mic as a performer, Christa Mccall.
Hi there.
Let me just mute everyone and then give you the forum. There you go.
This is called The Art of Looking Sideways. After suffering a horrific day, compressing the details to a flat tire, work drama, unnecessary difficulties, and personal epiphanies, I dragged my exhausted body from my car and attempted to discontinue replaying the day's events over and over in my head. I got out of the elevator and began my walk across the breezeway to my building. My mouth slowly began to gape open, and I stood in a mystified trance. Hundreds of strings of white Christmas lights were suspended down the walls of the walkway, creating an illusion of walking down a crystal staircase. I couldn't believe my eyes. More to the point, I couldn't believe how much it affected me. I hadn't seen anything so beautiful since the first time I laid eyes on my daughter. I took the first, excuse me, I took the few final steps into my building. Tiny microscopic baby steps towards the end of the breezeway. Each frame of the walkway. To my left, a landscape view of the James River. To my right, the Amtrak Railroad. Many thoughts entered my mind during this time. One was, did I have the courage to continue walking towards the breezeway? And at the other end of my mind, if I could have anything at the end of this beautiful vision, what would it be? I laid my tired hand on the doorknob and turned in. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks very much, Crystal, and thanks to everyone. Kept us going as long as we could. Looks like it's going to be a quieter night, but we are meeting here again next week, same time, same day, different IP address, but I'll be sending that out hopefully earlier. Got to try and send it out at least by the very least on a Sunday, so we have time for everything to circulate.
Hey.
I do want to thank our newcomers. I want to thank Nancy Dawson for coming to here for the first time, and of course Crystal for reading. Everyone's got to have a poem next week when they come. That includes you too, Mr. Ethan Mackler. And we will enjoy ourselves. We'll definitely enjoy anyone who comes, everyone who comes, and hopefully we'll be looking forward to having features later on. Tony B, I was hoping would come here tonight because she's trying to announce her Cambridge mashup, and it may be happening a later week, but hopefully we will have more announcements of that as the time comes. So I want to thank everyone who came. I want to thank you for continuing to support Stone Soup. Definitely check out the Facebook page, check out the Facebook group, check out the stonesoup.poetry.blogspot.com website. Email me if you want my newsletter. I'm always sharing stuff, and check out the Stone Soup Facebook page because there are additional calls for submissions for a number of places. I believe Oddball Magazine just got added to the list of people looking for stuff, but there's a lot of publications out there for who are looking for work in these in the times of the what's called the new normal. So thank you all very much for coming. I appreciate your dedication, your ears, your ability to listen and share, and we will see you next time. Have a good night, everyone. And
Thank you, everybody. Ethan, I love you. I love you, stalking from the moon.
Thanks for having us.
Bye, Bill.
See you next time, sir.
Thank you, Crystal. Thank you,
Oh,
Michael.
absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah. Bye.
Enjoy your evening, everyone.
Bye.
Oh, yeah, off.
No, I don't think yet. I'm not sure yet.
It usually shuts off.